going to tell you today is how you can use the home inspection as a seller or a selling agent and get the most return on your investment for that property. Here's how to do it. You get a pre-listing inspection done. Now, I know some agents who recommend that all their sellers do a pre-list home inspection. I know some agents who've gone so far as to pay for it for their buyers as part of their listing service. The pre-list inspection, if you're not familiar, is the same comprehensive inspection that we would do on behalf of a buyer. We just do it for the seller while the home is being listed, rather than after the home is already under contract and the wheels are rolling on that. Right now, buyers are not waiving home inspection anymore. The post-COVID-19 panic of you have to waive your home inspection to get the house and pay tons of money for it and jump in there taking all the risk as a buyer, that's gone. Interest rates are creeping up a little bit, even though they might be backing down. They're higher than they were. Purchase prices are up, so the buyers are a little bit more discerning, and they're just not willing to take that risk. So they're doing home inspections, and they're back to asking for concessions. That might be asking for repairs or asking for price reductions. If you're the list agent and you have a seller that doesn't want to negotiate, these are a great idea. If you're the list agent and you're having difficulty nailing down the value of the house based on conditions, this is a great idea. Now, let's talk about the old way versus the new way, and we can kind of compare and contrast and show you how pre-list inspections can help you as a seller, and it's something you should do as often as possible. Now, let's talk about the old way. You've got the house under contract, your buyer made an offer, your seller accepted the offer, everything is going swimmingly, and it's fantastic. But then you've got that window where you're just sitting around waiting. Is the buyer's home inspector going to find something catastrophic that we didn't know about? Is the buyer going to be super picky? Is the buyer's dad going to be there and be super picky on their behalf, which is a real thing? You don't know, so you tend to stress out about it. After the inspection, again, with newer discerning buyers out there, are they going to hit you with a bunch of arduous negotiations where you're going to have to go back and forth between the buyer and the seller about the price of the house based on new conditions that were found that weren't in the disclosure? Are they going to request a bunch of repairs that are maybe necessary, maybe not, but certainly they were on the home inspector's report, so people tend to ask for them? Or maybe even worse than that, are you guys not going to strike a deal and the buyer's going to walk away? Either way, these things lead to lower purchase price, either because repairs have to happen or because you negotiate a lower price so the buyers can get the house, which costs your client, the seller, money because they're selling the house for less. And if clients walk from the house, that's the worst thing. Because one, they don't have to tell you why they walked. They could just say, all right, based on the home inspection, we don't want to buy the house anymore. Thank you. Can I have my deposit back? And they're going to go move on to the next house. So if you do the pre-list home inspection, conversely, what you end up with is something a little different. You avoid all of that drama and nonsense that really doesn't have to be part of the real estate transaction. You don't stress out about what the buyer's home inspector is going to find because you already brought in a professional to go through the house and find whatever's wrong with it. You get the information first as the seller. This is the biggest advantage you can have. Having the information first means that you can do the first reaction to that information. So you have the leverage and the control over the whole process as the seller, which is what you want. You want to drive the ship and be proactive. You don't want to be reactive to the other folks. Now, you comb through the information, and you as the seller, you decide what's going to happen. Are you going to repair some items? Certain things maybe a lot of buyers are going to balk at, so it might be in your best interest to repair some of those or remedy some of those conditions. This home inspection is not your repair list. It's your list of items to repair if you choose to get a good return on that, or disclose. So you can disclose everything on the home inspection report, and it's still fine. Don't stress out about telling the buyer that there's a bunch of stuff wrong with your house, because guess what? There's probably a bunch of stuff wrong with your house. Now you've got this ultra transparent disclosure. You're giving good news and bad news to that potential buyer. Now they feel comfortable. Now what happens here is, as a lister or a seller or a selling agent representing or advising a client selling the house, you've gone through the inspection. You've appropriately priced the house based on the conditions of the house and the age of everything in there. Then when the buyers come in, you're not going to have that secondary negotiation. You can have a seller that's a bit stubborn that says, this is what I'm selling the house for, and I'm not changing it by $1. Well, you don't have to now, because the buyer's not going to have any surprises.